Here we have a new 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe. This one comes in the LS trim level with 2-wheel drive. This paint color is going to be Summit White, and then we have jet black cloth interior. And the powertrain consists of a 5.3-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine, made into a 10-speed automatic transmission, and a great look with these optional 22s. So coming around the front end here, we get LED daytime running lights along with LED headlamps. And these are going to be a $17.95 option here, but definitely worth it in my book. Love that look with those wheels. And we get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And then over here to the door panel, power door lock controls are here. We have power windows with 1-touch automatic up and down for the front, a rear window lock here, and then our power mirror controls are here. And pretty good storage in the door panel there, bottle holder. Here we have an electronic parking brake. Just press it to engage and hit the brake, press down to disengage. Our lane keep assist with lane departure, we can toggle that there. Traction control, parking sensors, auto stop. And then we have, I think it's 4 drive modes: tow haul, snow and ice, sport, normal. And then headlamp controls are there, trailer brake controller here. We're gonna pop this hood for later. And here we have a power driver seat with power lumbar support. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" and longer legs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rear leg room. Make sure the seat's all the way back. So pretty good leg room here. Not touching the back of the seat at all. And this does have a 3rd row. And I like that we have the seat back pockets on both sides. But we do get tri-zone automatic climate control, so we can do the rear here, fan speed, we can turn it all the way off, set our auto mode there. We can decide where we want the airflow to come from. And then we have 2 USB-C charge ports. And then we do have a 3-prong 120-volt household plug-in down there, which is nice. It's really nice to have even in this LS model. You do get the premium dome lights there. And this middle seat, fold down, cup holders there, a little storage spot for change or phone or something. And then hideaway hooks here. You can probably hang several hangers, probably 3 or 4 hangers on here. And then grab handle here. We have our vents in the ceiling there. But let's go ahead and make our way to the back. I'm gonna scoot this up because I'm gonna show you all how that 3rd row seat folds up. We do have a capless fuel filler, and this will take regular. And then coming around the back, we have the LED tail lights. The lamps themselves, I think the brake lights and reverse lights are not LED, but the actual tail lights themselves are. And this is nice, another 3-prong plug-in there. And then you can just pull the seat up. Requires a little bit of force, and then you can fold it down using that. But still, tons of storage behind the 3rd row with it up. And again, you can just fold it down, pretty easy. Taking a quick look underneath the vehicle, here's a spare there. There's the exhaust pipe. But coming around to the right side here, you hit this twice, and then this will actually fold into the floor if you want to run longer objects from the front, or from the back to the front, excuse me, because that'll do the same thing. And then pretty easy to just fold it back up. And then to the front passenger side, love, love, love that they did not try and put a manual seat here. And we have power with power lumbar for this side as well. Little storage pocket here, glove compartment, it's lockable. Owner's manuals are in here. And I like how they did this trim here. Specifically on this LS model, I'm just impressed with how subtle it is, but it also has a lot of nice features. But underneath the hood here, 5.3-liter naturally aspirated V8. And now let's go ahead and make our way to the driver's seat. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. Pretty easy to stick my hand anywhere. Now, before we check out the radio, I'm gonna give you all a quick look at this window sticker. And I also wanna give a huge shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this vehicle today. And I'll leave a link below to this SUV as well as their entire inventory in the description. There's a quick look at that. I'm gonna go back here. Only 58,900, so for the segment in 2023, that's not bad at all. Now, to our radio, we get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth audio. This is gonna be an 8-inch screen. And then we also get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility too. Here are all of our settings here. So phone connections will be here, pretty easy to add. And then you have Wi-Fi networks, your hotspot, you can connect all of that. And then your apps here if you ever need to use that. And then safety features are gonna be here for the most part. And then of course you can hit the climate and you can auto fan speed. You can set that to either low, medium, or high, which I'm glad that you do get the 3 stages. I would have rather been on the knob, but now that I know that's there, it's nice to have that because I like to keep mine on low so it's not too loud. And then teen drivers available, valet mode, etc. And we do have dual zone automatic climate for the front. You can do the controls here and you can control that rear if you want to from up here, and you can even lock it so that they can't control it in the back. And then you can have it set to that auto mode for the fan direction, and then you can turn that off. But by clicking all of them off, it gives you that kind of auto mode there without actually being synced auto, if that makes sense. Based on temperature, excuse me. And we also have controls down here. You can toggle that. Auto is here, sync is here. I like that we can click the sync out because a lot of vehicles you can't do that. We can control fan speed here, cut the whole system off, pressing that button. AC, all of that. And we do have a few buttons and knobs for the radio, so volume, you can use that to mute and then hold it to power down. And then you can actually use this as a scroll knob when you're in the menu. And then when you're in the actual radio, you can tune with it. And then you can cut your rear on and off with the button here as well. USB-C, USB-A port, 12 volt down in there. And then the shifter push button, press P for park, pull up R for reverse, N for neutral, pull up D for drive, and then hit that L for the low gear and you can manually shift. And it'll show you in that bottom right corner of the digital part of the gauge cluster there. Then we have cup holders here. Like I said, a little storage there. Center console cubby space is huge. Removable tray. And then a little storage pocket in here. Hazards are there. There's a quick look in the back seat. So this one is actually rated for up to 8 passengers. And then back to the steering wheel, cruise controls are here. You can adjust that there. Forward collision alert, gap adjust here. Voice recognition, this serves as a mute button. Then you can use the scroll bar and these arrows to go through the gauge cluster in the middle. And then behind the steering wheel on the left side, we can go through our radio station favorites. And then when you're in Bluetooth or if you have another device hooked up, this is for your track list. And then behind the steering wheel on the right side, those are going to be volume controls up and down. Now for the rear wiper, you can adjust that here, intermittent on, then you can pull this way or this way to get the rear wiper fluid. Your front wipers, one time there, and then you have your auto wipers there, and then you have a low and a high function, and then your front wiper fluid, you hit that button on the side. And then you can use this for your high beams, and then you can toggle your auto high beams, and then you can just turn everything off by clicking there, and it also flashes the high beams as well. Push button starts here. And finally, here's our key fob with remote start. And next, we're gonna go ahead and take this 23 Tahoe LS out on the road for a quick test drive. So the 5.3 liter V8 is a very strong motor. Of course, you can get the 6.2 liter, but I've said in several other reviews, the 5.3 is pretty much enough, more than enough for about 95% of buyers in this market. Now, I do like how the Tahoe drives. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a massive SUV. It just feels normal. And of course, it's not as good of a ride. I should say it's not as good of a driving feel for people who are coming from cars as maybe a Traverse would be or something similar, but there's not a huge learning curve to being able to tame this beast. So very good acceleration. So I was stuck in traffic just now for about 20 minutes, barely moving, so that's why there's a little bit of a gap. Didn't get a full highway feel with this Tahoe, but I will say the 22s on this LS in particular do not feel as hefty as it does on the Denali's, the Yukons, and then the Premier Tahoes. I don't know what it is. It might actually just be the cloth seats. I feel like the cloth seats have a bit more of a plush feel than leather does on the GMs. Now, of course, you get heated and ventilated seats there, and the leather feels nicer, but in terms of just how plush the seats feel, because the cloth actually has more of a softer texture to it, the ride doesn't feel as harsh. Now, don't get me wrong, the ride is really not harsh on any configuration of a Tahoe or Yukon for the most part. Even in the AT4 Z71s, the ride is pretty good. But it's nice to know that in this LS, even just having the $1,800 wheel option and not a lot else, you still have a really nice ride. Feels really nice in here overall. Even with the smaller 8-inch screen, I still just like how everything is laid out. But for the money, I mean, you could get an XL Expedition or maybe a Grand Cherokee L, something like that. But for me, the Tahoe has always just kind of been in its own little world, because even compared to the Sequoia, the Honda Pilot, I just feel like it has the most space, and really it has the looks to go along with it. I feel like even the new redesigned Sequoias, those look nice. I haven't gotten a chance to test drive one, but when I see them out in public, they're cool looking because they're new. But the Tahoes, just even after they've had their redesign in 21, have still held the test of time in terms of looking present, if that makes sense. So love the tech that's here, the lane keep assist with lane departure, having the blind spot monitors, because you used to not be able to get all of this on an LS. And then the forward collision gap adjust, and then having the distance indicator as well, that little green mark there. Still a good option, and it's just that much further ahead than it was. And this will bring me to an end of my review of the new 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe LS.